This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Over the last decade or so, the auto industry was in a mad rush to invest in electric cars. But that may be about to come to a screeching halt. Or, at least in the United States, it could. Republicans in the House of Representatives are introducing legislation that will effectively gut incentives to sell EVs. The House Ways and Means Committee introduced a bill yesterday that would get rid of the $7,500 credit for buying a new EV at the end of 2026. And starting in January, only companies that have sold fewer than 200,000 EVs will qualify for the credit until it's phased out next year. The bill will also eliminate the $4,000 credit for used EVs and the $7,500 commercial vehicle credit, which is given to consumers who lease an EV. If the credits are eliminated, EV sales are expected to decline since prices will go up. And by the way, they're also looking at getting rid of any incentives for hydrogen vehicles. Two of Japan's largest automakers posted their latest financial earnings today, and the numbers are miserable. Honda sold 3.7 million cars, trucks, and vans last year, down 9.6% due to a drop-off in Asia and Europe. It earned $146 billion in revenue, which was actually up 6.2%, but its operating profit fell 12% to $8 billion, and its net profit dropped 23% to $7.9 billion. And Honda expects its profits to drop 64% this year because of President Trump's tariffs. And at Nissan, the situation is far worse. It sold 3.1 million vehicles last year, down about 2%. It brought in only $85 billion in revenue, down just a fraction from last year, but its operating profit plummeted 88% to only $471 million, and it lost $4.5 billion. As we've already reported, Nissan has a new CEO who is going to restructure the company, and as a result of that, Renault, which owns 37.5% of Nissan, says it's going to take a $2.4 billion hit to its first quarter earnings. Speaking of Japanese car companies needing to cut costs to be competitive, word out of China this morning is that Mazda is teaming up with CATL to use its skateboard for future EV models. Those models will be built at Changan Motors, which is Mazda's Chinese manufacturing partner. Mazda is investing $1.3 billion in China to double production with a goal of hitting 300,000 sales by 2027. Its partnership with CATL will give it a lower cost base and will get it to market sooner. What's intriguing to us is how Mazda is not relying on Toyota to get this done, since Toyota is a 5% equity owner in Mazda. It just shows the strong independent streak that exists at Mazda. The Xiaomi SU7 got all kinds of accolades when it debuted, thanks to its Porsche-esque styling and its blistering performance, like setting the lap record at the Nürburgring for a four-door sedan. But recently the car has come under a storm of criticism. First, it was involved in a horrific accident while in semi-autonomous mode, killing 3 passengers. That accident made headlines all across China and triggered a government crackdown on aggressive marketing of hands-free driving. Then, last week, the SU7 came under all kinds of criticism for an optional hood it offered for the car for $5,800 that looked exactly like the hood on the Nürburgring car. But it turned out the optional hood was merely cosmetic, with fake air outlets. And some customers are demanding a full refund. And now the China Automotive Quality Network reports that the SU7 has the absolute worst quality of the 29 new midsize and larger BEVs that are on sale. So far, the sales of the SU7 are still good, but we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on this. NIO is struggling financially, but the company continues to impress the industry with its technology. It just became the first automaker to get certification for its steer-by-wire system in Europe. It already got certified in China. Lexus and Mercedes are expected to come out with steer-by-wire soon, so this is quite a coup for NIO to beat them to the European market, even though the Tesla Cybertruck already has steer-by-wire. Automakers are quite interested in the technology since it eliminates the steering column, which can dramatically improve driver safety in front-end collisions. It also makes it quite easy to adopt speed-sensitive steering, which can eliminate hand-over-hand turns at lower speeds. General Motors just got a good get. It hired Sterling Anderson for a newly created position of Executive VP of Global Product and Chief Product Officer. Anderson co-founded autonomous trucking startup Aurora in 2017. Before that, he worked at Tesla, where he led the Model X program and development of its autopilot system. At General Motors, Anderson will be responsible for the end-to-end product lifecycle for both gasoline and electric vehicles, including hardware, software, services, and user experience. Anderson will report directly to GM President Mark Royce, and it'll be based in GM's Mountain View Tech Center in California, which kind of makes us wonder if this is going to become GM's equivalent to Ford's Skunk Works in Irvine, California. Mercedes confirmed it will build the GLC crossover at its plant in Alabama, and it's all about President Trump's tariffs. Mercedes would not say how much it'll invest at the plant to make the model there, but it did say it will be significant. Production is expected to start in late 2027, and Auto Forecast Solutions says Mercedes could build 50,000 GLCs in the first year of production. Mercedes also declined to say if it will build the planned electric version of the GLC in Alabama. That plant currently produces the GLE and GLS and their electric variants. We've got some more good future product intel from Auto Forecast Solutions. General Motors is going to stick with the current generation of Chevrolet Colorado and GMC Canyon until 2032. No doubt GM will have some refreshes between now and then, but the next-gen versions of those trucks will not be out for another 7 years, and that's one way GM will boost their profitability. Auto Forecast also says that Honda will start production of the Afeela EVs at its plant in East Liberty, Ohio, in August 2026. That's part of Honda's joint venture with Sony. But Honda's dealers are undoubtedly going to pounce on that. Afeela wants to use a direct sales model, claiming it can avoid using franchise dealers since it is a brand new company. But with Afeelas getting built in a Honda plant that's already making Honda CR-Vs, dealers are going to claim that Afeela is part of Honda and that it needs to sell its cars through them. Anyway, that brings us to the end of today's report. Thanks for watching Autoline Daily.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Intrepid Control Systems. Over-the-air engineering boost your game. Teijin Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility. And by
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Teijin Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.